and her lungs are kind of going in a little bit here too. I think she's probably going to have to stay in the hospital. Okay.
Dr. Scott Oslin practices emergency medicine at St. Francis Hospital in Linwood, California, one of the busiest emergency rooms in the area.
We see upwards of 60, 65, sometimes 70,000 patients a year, so it's very, very busy. Hey, Mr. Jones. How you doing? A day in my life in the emergency department is a real spattering of different cases. I mean, we see everything from babies who are a few days old to people who are, I took care of a gal the other day who was 109 years old. So we take care of everything in between. Let me just take a look at your neck here for a second. Just look over here.
My neck hurting all the time now. I got to go back for my neck.
Okay.
Start back to hurting.
Okay. Just pretty normal, okay? A lot of our older patients are very frightened. A lot of them have illnesses which are very serious, and this is something that's just, you know, a common occurrence in their lives. And so oftentimes when they come into the emergency department, they're quite aware that they may not leave the hospital alive. Okay? Just normal. My job is to make sure that there's not an emergency going on. How you doing, Alex? Huh? Can you give me 5? Give me 5? All right. Back. Okay. A lot of times with the babies, you know, you're also taking care of the family as well. Do your ears hurt? ¿Tiene dolores oídos? It's very important that the family feels very comfortable with what's going on, that they have confidence in what I'm doing, that they understand the big picture. Hello. Are you Guadalupe Cortez?
Yeah.
I'm Dr. Oslin. How can we help you today? There's a lot of people that I see young people who have chest pain and so on, who just aren't familiar with what these things mean to them. They may be 20 years old and having some chest pain and think that that's a heart attack, when in all likelihood it's probably not that. It's just a matter of educating them, and oftentimes we don't really need to do very many tests. You just sort of take a few minutes and I'll sit down and talk with them. And a lot of times it's just a matter of reassuring them. So, you know, I have to be physician, counselor, therapist, friend, sometimes father, sometimes son. You just have to wear a whole variety of hats in the emergency department.
It's Friday night, Cinco de Mayo, and the Mexican holiday is cause for celebration among the large Hispanic population that surrounds St. Francis. As day turns into night, the ER staff prepares for a busy evening. At 8 p.m., paramedics arrive with a 26-year-old woman who has sustained serious injuries in a freak accident.
She was a trapeze artist. She swang from one trapeze to another, and in the process of doing so, she fell off the trapeze, and kind of an unusual inner city injury to see. And she suffered several what we call compression fractures in the big bones in the back, the vertebrae.
X-ray, step out please.
So you can see here that she's got a couple fractures. She's got a little chip fracture right here off of this bone. She's going to have a chip fracture here off of this bone, and probably one other fracture. These are what we call compression fractures, or wedge-type fractures right here. So because of this, she'll need a CAT scan of her abdomen and her pelvis. So she'll most likely be admitted to the hospital.
The CAT scan showed both her backbone and pelvis to be normal. However, the patient would surprise everyone with her decision.
In fact, she didn't want to be in the hospital, so she signed herself out against medical advice and went home. And that happens. I actually felt fine with her doing that. She was actually a fairly bright woman, and I think, you know, had she had any problems, she'd come back right away.
By midnight, the mean streets of the neighborhood that surrounds St. Francis begin to claim their victims.
Linwood also has the unfortunate title of having the highest per capita gang membership in the United States of any city.
The emergency room sees gang-related shootings and stabbings on a regular basis. It's considered a neutral zone by the neighborhood gangs who continually wage battle on the streets.
He's 16 years old. He's got 5 stab wounds in the back. One is in the neck, just to the right of the spine, about C4. It's about a 1/4 inch wide. He said that The knife is probably about 2 or 3 inches long, is what he could tell.
Okay. Are you having any trouble breathing? Okay. Does your chest hurt at all? Okay. Does your stomach hurt at all? I see a lot of gunshot wounds. I see a lot of stabbings. You know, I see a lot of drive-by shootings, that type of problem. It's a spectrum of violent crime that we see here. I also see a fair amount of patients who are brought in by officers who have been caught doing some crime. We're required to medically clear them, if you will, so that they can go to jail. So you can see right here on his ankle that he's got a monitoring device, which is what people often have when they've been in trouble before. And he's probably in a halfway house or a type thing to make sure that he stays in the area and obeys his terms of his probation and so on. So, yeah. So not the first time that he's been there, done that. You notice too that this guy doesn't have any tattoos, but nowadays that doesn't mean anything. A lot of these guys don't have tattoos, so I suspect there's probably still a good likelihood that this guy is an active gang member. So we'll find that out here in just a few minutes as soon as things settle down a little bit and as soon as we make sure that medically he's okay. What happened tonight?
Well, some guy came looking for me at my house. When I turned my back, he just stabbed me.
Really? How come he's looking for you?
I don't know.
You don't know? You in a gang? No?
160 over 80, we have NS.
What this guy tells us is that he's under house arrest for grand theft auto and that there was a guy that was coming to look for him. Obviously this guy is involved with something because people just normally don't come and look for you to try and kill you. And even though he denies being in a gang, I suspect that's not true. If he's not officially in a gang, meaning if he hasn't been jumped in yet where they actually have a little ceremony and the active gang members literally beat up the gang member being initiated, he's very close to being jumped in. And a lot of times these guys have to do a crime to sort of prove that they're worthy gang members. And so I suspect that's probably what this guy is involved with right now. So again, he's really a perfect candidate if we can get a chance to talk to him to get him out of a gang. Yeah. You're very lucky. Yeah. You don't want it back. Yeah. Could have been paralyzed. Could have been paralyzed, could have been killed. Yeah. No bleeding, could have had a hole in your lung. Yeah, lots of stuff could have happened. Yeah. Yeah. Would you be willing to talk to somebody about kind of maybe getting some help? Staying out of trouble? Okay.
Almost done.
Think you learned any lessons?
Okay, friend, you're ready for the next fight.
Yeah. No more fights.
Getting gang members to break away from the gang is seen as part of the healing process at St. Francis. A gang intervention program called Impact was created by emergency room paramedic Mike Baca.
There's a big need out there because of the area. It's a gang-infested community in this area. We found out there was a big window of opportunity when they've been shot and they're in the hospital. I tell the guys, you know, let's open up another chapter in your life and let's rewrite it and let's see what you can do to make yourself a better person. So we decided to start a program that would help try to alleviate some of them problems and come at them and try to offer them alternatives to their life.
That's it?
That's all?
Coming after that for.
Does anyone else have any other suggestions? Or does everyone agree that it's correct?
Me to I.
Me to I? Okay.
Selectively chosen from over 144 referrals, gang members participate in an 8-month program that educates, trains, counsels, offers spiritual guidance, removes tattoos, and presents the opportunity to break away from the violence of the street gang.
For a hospital to open the door to gang members and say, come on in, we'll help you out. We won't just put a Band-Aid over your wounds. We'll give you education, we'll give you counseling, we'll take your tattoos off, we'll get you a job. That's pretty big, and there's not a program out there like that.
I had a propane explosion, got pretty burned, and I was close to dying. I lived and I just thought about it, you know what I mean? I said, it's not worth it, going through a lot of things again, make my mom suffer, things like that.
Well, I started gangbanging when I was 11 years old because everybody around me was gangbanging. That's the life I liked. And That's all I knew. I always get in trouble, in and out of jail. Then it gets old. Get tired of looking over your shoulder, watching out for people trying to jump you. It gets tired. You get tired of it.
The entry for a lot of these gang members into the program is oftentimes when they have become a trauma patient. We'll make an offer to them. We have a program in which they can turn their life around if they would like to do so, which is one of the reasons why I got involved in the gang intervention program at St. Francis.
Dr. Osland has taken a crucial and unique step in the healing process. He is involved with a gang intervention program at St. Francis that assists patients break away from their gangs.
Doing great.
What are you guys up to?
Just going over some communication, how women and men listen differently, and different techniques and how to understand one another.
We're definitely different creatures, aren't we?
Yeah.
You can see these tattoos from head to toe. I mean, gang members will literally shave their heads, they'll tattoo their scalps, they'll put them all over their neck, their shoulders, their torso, meaning chest, back, arms, legs. There's virtually no area that's immune from getting a tattoo.
Yeah.
What was this? This was MO?
MOB.
MOB, that stand for?
Money over females. I don't want to curse.
How are you doing?
Many of them are very heavily tattooed. And it's a very big deal for these guys to get their tattoos removed. You know, in some cases, it could be interpreted as very threatening by active gang members, and these guys could really suffer some retribution. And so this is really a very, very big step for these guys. Just bare all.
Yeah.
So
I'll be waiting for you.
yeah,
I'll be here.
we'll take them off.
All right, bro.
So, all right.
Thanks, man.
All right, Jose. Does that hurt?
A little bit. Do you have tattoos too? Or what?
I don't have, no, honestly, I don't have any tattoos. No.
I recommend to the people, man, don't get no tattoos in your face.
Do you miss the gang at all?
Yeah, kind of.
Kind of. What do you miss most?
When we used to hang out with them. Yeah. But, you know, we gotta do better things in life now, you know? Yeah. Been through a lot of things, and that's it, man. Just gotta move on.
Did you ever get arrested?
One too many times. One too many times. That was the time that I was facing life.
Oh, was that right?
Yeah.
Wow. So what was the turning point? What made you decide to get out?
I had this accident, you know?
You had what?
I had an accident. Got real burned.
Yeah.
And I got shot already, like 5 times.
Wow.
So I just,
You said that was
I said, that's it, man, you know what I mean?
Yeah. How'd you get burned?
I had a propane explosion.
How'd that happen?
Man, you know, I'm doing the wrong things.
Stuff happens, right?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Tattoo removal is a painful procedure that requires several sessions to completely remove a tattoo.
Most of the tattoos are put on by other gang members, and the procedure itself, it's basically involves taking the laser and creating a first-degree or a second-degree burn, which is fairly painful, and it simply breaks up the ink and allows the body to absorb the ink, and it usually takes 3 or 4 treatments before we can get a tattoo fully removed. All right, here's a poke. 1, 2, 3. You simply clean the area off with some alcohol, drop the lidocaine, inject the lidocaine, and it goes to work very quickly. And then I just take the laser and just simply start blasting away the ink.
If you want, you can hit it 2 times.
Initially, the first treatment, we use less intensity, and as the treatments progress, we have to use more and more intensity to get at the deeper pigments. And sometimes we can never completely remove the tattoos, but almost always we can make them indistinguishable enough that it's not a problem for the gang members to become employed, and that's really the big issue.
Oh man, dog, you going crazy. Man.
My foot slipped.
You got trigger happy. You gang bang?
I wouldn't be a very good shot, would I? My philosophy in taking care of these gang members is that I try not to get jaded. I try not to get angry. I try not to get frustrated.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
You're welcome. So you were in jail?
I was in county jail and I took a jail for 2 years. I went to prison.
Wow. So how long are you in prison for? I've really sort of adopted the mentality of just trying to get these guys patched up and try and help them through this very difficult, tumultuous time in their lives so that they can sort of come out the other end and become productive people.
So did you have to make a whole new set of friends?
Yes, I did. Yeah. Real friends, I guess you'd say.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a new beginning.
Yeah.
It's a new life.
Hey, Marco. How's it going? Good. Yeah, let me see your tattoos.
Doing pretty good. Kind of fading here.
Cool.
Several former gang members who graduated from the Impact program have become part of the hospital's outreach to other gang members.
Hey, yeah, I got a patient for you last night. Guy got shot. He's admitted to the hospital. Wonder if you just wouldn't mind taking a look at him and seeing if we can help him in any way.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is his name?
So you can't change the whole system, but when you have a shot at one person, I think you stand a good chance of making change. But there's only so much that I can do, and it really works better if there's somebody who is a reformed gang member who can talk to the active gang member and let them know that there are other choices available. There are other lifestyles, there's other ways to spend one's time than to sort of be gangbanging. What about just getting out of the whole lifestyle?
Offering gang members a choice between a lifestyle of violence and a lifestyle of harmony is what defines Scott Osland as a doctor.
Are you willing to talk to somebody about...
I think Dr. Osland goes back to the real role of a physician. He takes his oath to heal and to do no harm seriously. You can suture the wounds, you can set the bones, but until you make that personal connection, until you relate as individuals, as human beings, until you reach the core of that person, where God sits, that person's not really healed.
So what made you decide to get out?
A bullet in the head.
I'll do it. Let me see. It's not something that's a customary part of emergency medicine training, and it's been one of the more gratifying, fulfilling things that I've done. And from a medical standpoint, it's actually very easy to do this, but the implication for the lives of these guys is enormous. It feels pretty. Maybe maybe it's just a fragment of a 9.
Oh, it hurts.
Okay. I might spend 10 or 15 minutes on a particular gang member taking off a particular tattoo, but it's some of the best 10 or 15 minutes I could ever spend in medicine because it makes a huge difference in the lives of these guys.